Good morning, children. Today I am going to start with a new chapter, The Last Leaf, written by O. Henry from your reader book Moment. In this video, I am going to tell you about the theme, message, title, and the summary of the chapter. So here it begins. Children, I am going to tell you about the author of the chapter, The Last Leaf. O. Henry, he was born in 1862 and died in 1910, was born under the name of William Sidney Porter in Greensboro, North Carolina. His short stories are popular throughout the world for their witticism, clever wordplay, and unexpected twist endings. His prolific writing period began in 1902 in New York City. He wrote 381 short stories in New York. He wrote one story a week for over a year for the New York World Sunday magazine. Some of his famous short stories are The 4 Million, The Gill of Maggie, The Cop and the Anthem, and The Last Leaf. Here's the introduction of the chapter, The Last Leaf. Art is a valuable asset and offers hope even in the most trying situations. It has the power to heal the human spirit. The Last Leaf depicts the value of art as it saves a precious young life. Although the artist sacrifices his own life in the process, his masterpiece immortalizes him. The theme of the story? The story is based on the theme that life is precious and faith and hope should never be lost. We come across many hindrances in life and they should be overcome by fighting back in high spirits. Depression can lead to disaster even when the situation is not bad. Another theme that runs through the story is that devoted friendship can be succored during times of crisis. A minor theme of the story is the importance of art in human lives. The old painter knowingly sacrifices his life in his urge to create a masterpiece. Very often, we find people having a negative attitude towards life. They lose interest in life and these causes suffering of people surrounding them. They are even ready to lose their life as life has lost all meaning for them. The story tells the need to have a positive attitude towards life so that we can make it as fruitful as possible. Sacrificing our life for the sake of others is also a theme in this story. Painter Berman sacrifices his life for Johnsy. How can we justify the title, The Last Leaf? The title, The Last Leaf, raises the curiosity of the reader regarding a happening or an event towards some kind of end. The word last reflects the main idea of the story, which is the last breath of Johnsy. The last leaf becomes the last hope of survival and keeps the reader hooked until the end. Throughout, the last ivy leaf remains the central point. In the early part of the story, it remains associated with Johnsy's ailment and depression, while later on it conveys the message of courage, hope, and optimism. The last leaf saves Johnsy's life and fulfills Berman's lifelong dream to paint a masterpiece. However, it also turns out to be his last masterpiece. Hence, the title is very appropriate. The leaves of ivy creeper are falling fast. Johnsy, the sick girl, feels that she would die as soon as the last leaf would fall from the ivy creeper. One night, only one leaf remains on the ivy. It would fall the same night. The old artist Berman decided to go out in the rain and paint an artificial leaf as soon as the last leaf falls. So, since Chauncey makes her life depends upon the last leaf, the title is appropriate. The last leaf on the ivy helps one person to survive but results in the death of another person. The message given by the writer O. Henry. The chief message that this story gives is the spirit of sacrifice we need to have in our life. The old artist Berman sacrificed his life so that Chauncey could live. In this process, he also achieved his ambition of painting a masterpiece. The other message is that we should have a positive attitude in life. Chauncey was under depression and she felt her life was linked to the leaves on the ivy creeper. This prevented her from getting better from her illness. She was also causing harm to her friend, Sue. Had she adopted a positive attitude, Berman would have not died. Our thinking and attitude affect the lives of other people too. Children, I'm going to tell you the summary of the chapter The Last Leaf, written by O. Henry. The Last Leaf is a touching story. It describes the sacrifice made by an old painter named Berman. He sacrificed his life to save a young girl artist's life. Sue and Chauncey, two young friends and artists, shared a small flat that was on the third story of an old house. It was the month of November when Chauncey fell seriously ill. She was afflicted by pneumonia. She simply lay in a bed and looked out of the window. This left her friend Sue worried. So she called a doctor. The doctor visited every day, but Chauncey's condition did not show any improvement. One day, the doctor told Sue that perhaps Chauncey was depressed, and in the absence of her will to live, no medicine could cure her. Chauncey was Sue's dear friend, so she made sincere efforts to revive Chauncey's interest in life by talking about clothes and fashion. Sadly, nothing worked. Then Sue brought her drawing board to Chauncey's room and started painting. She whistled while working so that Chauncey's mind could be taken off her illness. Suddenly, Sue heard Chauncey whispering. She rushed to her bed and heard that Chauncey was counting backward while looking out of the window. An anxious Sue looked out too and saw an old ivy creeper climbing halfway up the brick wall opposite their window. Strong autumn wind was blowing outside and the creeper was shedding its leaves. Sue asked Chauncey what she was counting. Chauncey replied that she was counting the leaves on the creeper, which were almost 100 till 3 days ago. But now only 5 were left. Sue said falling of leaves was normal since it was autumn. However, Chauncey revealed her shocking fear that when the last leaf fell, she too would die. Sue rubbished this idea and said that old ivy leaves had nothing to do with Chauncey's illness. But Chauncey insisted that she wanted to see the last leaf fall before it got dark and then sleep forever. Sue comforted Chauncey and begged her not to look out of the window while she used the incoming light to finish a painting that would get them money. Chauncey agreed on the condition that Sue would finish her painting soon and not make her wait further to see the fall of the last leaf. Sue then told Chauncey that she had to paint an old miner and was going down to call Berman, their neighbor. To be her model, Berman lived on the ground floor in the same building. He was a 60-year-old painter who had a lifelong dream to paint a masterpiece. Sue shared her worry with Berman and told how Chauncey was convinced about her death with the fall of the last leaf. Behrman accompanied Sue to her apartment, and the two of them walked silently into Johnsey's room. She was sleeping at that time. So the two of them went to the next room and peeped out through the window. The creeper had only one leaf on it. It was raining heavily, and icy cold wind was blowing. Behrman returned without saying anything. Next morning, Johnsey woke up and asked Sue in a feeble voice to draw the curtains. A nervous Sue reluctantly drew back the curtains, but exclaimed when she looked at the creeper. She pointed out to the Johnsey that there was still one leaf left, and it looked quite green and healthy. Johnsey said that she had heard the wind last night and was sure that the leaf must have fallen. If it hadn't so far, then it would surely fall soon, and she too would die. Sue tried to cheer her up and asserted that she won't die and she must live for the sake of her friends. Johnsey smiled weakly and closed her eyes. She looked out of the window after every hour, and every time found the leaf still there. Another storm struck in the evening, but the leaf did not fall. Johnsey looked at the leaf for a long time and then called Sue. She admitted that she had not been good to her. Sue had looked after her so lovingly, and she in turn had not cooperated. The last leaf had shown her that she had been wicked. She had realized that it was a sin to wish to die. Sue hugged Johnsey and then gave her lots of hot soup and a mirror. Johnsey combed her hair and smiled brightly. The doctor came in the afternoon and after examining Johnsey, told Sue that since Johnsey now had the will to live, he was confident of her early recovery. Then he took leave to go downstairs and examine Behrman, who too was suffering from acute pneumonia. Next morning, Sue came and sat on Johnsey's bed and informed her that Mr. Behrman was no more. He had died of pneumonia that morning after a brief illness of only 2 days. He was found in his bed with wet clothes and shoes by the janitor. A ladder and a still lighted lantern were found near his bed. There were also some brushes and green and yellow paints near the ladder. Sue told Johnsey to look out of the window at the ivy leaf. She asked if she wondered why it didn't flutter when the wind blew. The green and healthy leaf was Behrman's masterpiece that he had painted the previous night, braving the icy winds and rain. Children, this is a great lesson for you. Like firm determination and strong willpower are the tools of success in life. A person who has a firm determination and strong willpower can never feel depressed on small losses in life, and God bless such a person with success. In this story, it is determined and strong willpower that helps a patient Johnsey to recover fast. Johnsey, who felt dejected and depressed, had lost the will to live. Medicine was ineffective. She thought that she would die with the fall of the last leaf on the ivy. Behrman, on learning this fancy of Johnsey, painted a leaf on the ivy, and the last leaf had fallen. The night he went out to paint the leaf was rainy and snowy. The old artist caught pneumonia and died in a matter of 2 days. Thus, he sacrificed his life to save Johnsey's life. Children, do you know that feeling of depression Johnsey has is common among teenagers? It is so because, like Johnsey, they too lack emotional maturity. They fail to understand that sorrows are much a part of our lives as joys are. Certain situations in life are unpredictable as well as unavoidable. Teenagers become nervous while encountering such situations. They begin to gather negative thoughts and have a fear of failures. It becomes a vicious cycle, and their weak health aggravates emotional instability. Pessimism begins to destroy their willpower. Another problem is that, like John C., teenagers take a lot of time to get convinced. They are difficult to counsel and try their loved ones' patience a lot. Absence of a healthy lifestyle pushes them further into negativity and depression becomes deep rooted. Therefore, teenagers should inculcate positive values like optimism, strong willpower, and faith through meditation and regular exercise in order to enjoy the blessings of a sound mind in a robust body. So children, I think you all have enjoyed listening this story. Thank you. Have a nice day.